When a disaster hits, we all think about physical safety first, right? Food, water, shelter. But what about that storm that can start raging inside our own heads? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to walk through 5 simple but really powerful ways to look after your mental health when things get tough, and this is all based on guidance from the World Health Organization. Okay, first things first. If you're feeling scared or anxious or just totally overwhelmed, that's normal. That is a completely human reaction to a crazy situation. Acknowledging that is a huge first step. It doesn't mean you're weak, it just means you're human.
So that's the big question, isn't it? When the world outside feels like it's spinning out of control, how do you find any sense of calm inside? Well, the good news is there are actual practical things you can do. Let's get into them.
Okay, our first tool is all about finding your footing when you feel like you're floating away in a sea of worry. It's called grounding, and it's an amazing way to pull yourself back into the present moment, especially when your thoughts are just going a mile a minute.
So what exactly is grounding? Well, think of it like hitting a giant pause button on all those heavy emotions. It's basically a simple exercise that shifts your focus from the chaos in your head to what's physically around you, helping you to feel safe again, right here, right now.
And you know, it's so much simpler than it sounds. You can actually do this with me right now. Just take a slow breath in and out. Now really feel your feet on the floor. And then just look around. Name one thing you can see, one sound you can hear, and one thing you can feel. That's it. It sounds small, but it can make a world of difference.
All right, so we've found our anchor in the present moment. Now let's turn our attention inward. Our next 2 tools are all about how to deal with the tricky stuff, your own thoughts and feelings. This can be tough, I know, but these techniques are a game changer. I love this metaphor. Our first instinct when we feel something painful, like fear or sadness, is to fight it, to push it away. But what if you didn't? What if you just let those feelings be? You can just notice them and watch them drift by, just like clouds. You don't have to get swept up in the storm. And there's a really good reason to try this. When you stop wrestling with your emotions and just give them a little bit of space, you actually give yourself room to heal. The intensity starts to fade, and you can get back in touch with what really matters to you.
Our third tool is kind of similar, but this one's for your thoughts. It's called unhooking. You know how in a crisis, your mind can get snagged on these hooks of worry or fear? Well, unhooking is just the practice of noticing those thoughts without letting them pull you under.
And this shows the difference so perfectly. On one side, you're totally caught, just consumed by that worry. But on the other side, you create a little bit of distance. You just pause, and you name it. You say to yourself, I'm having a thought that I'm worried. See the difference? By naming it, you see that you are not the thought. You're the one noticing the thought. Then you can gently bring your focus back to whatever you were doing.
All right, tool number 4. This one sounds so simple, but man, it can be the hardest one to actually do, especially when we're stressed out. It's all about choosing kindness, not just for other people, but for yourself.
I mean, really think about that for a second. When a good friend is having a tough time, what do? You're supportive, you're encouraging, right? Now ask yourself, do you talk to yourself that way? This is your reminder to turn that same kindness inward. Your inner voice can be your best friend during a crisis.
And please remember, this is not selfish. It's essential. Being kind to yourself is what builds resilience. It's like recharging your own battery. And when your battery's charged, you have so much more strength to show up for your family, your friends, and your community.
And that leads us right into our 5th and final tool. It is so easy to feel powerless in a disaster. This technique is all about taking back a little bit of control, finding the sense of purpose, even when so much is completely out of your hands. It's about taking action based on your values.
And we're not talking about huge, heroic acts here. Not at all. We're talking about the small things. Checking in on a neighbor, sharing a bit of what you have, just offering a kind word. These tiny actions can make a huge impact, restoring your sense of purpose and reminding you of your own strength.
So there you have it, 5 powerful tools. But before we wrap this up, there's one more really important thing to remember about this whole process. Healing from a crisis, it's not a race.
I really want you to hear this. If you try these techniques and they feel weird or they don't work right away, that is 100% okay. That's actually normal. You wouldn't expect to be an expert at a new sport on day 1, and learning to manage your mind during a crisis is no different. It takes practice.
Every single time you try, it's a step in the right direction. Each time you ground yourself, or unhook from a thought, or just show yourself a little bit of kindness, you're building up that mental strength. Just be patient with yourself. The goal here is progress, not perfection.
And hey, if you want to dig deeper into any of this, the World Health Organization has this amazing, totally free guide. It's called Doing What Matters in Times of Stress. It's packed with more of these simple, practical exercises. The link is right there for you.
And in the end, that's what this all boils down to. We can't always control the storm happening around us, but we can choose how we respond to the storm inside us. By grounding ourselves, being kind, and acting on our values, we can choose a response that builds us up instead of tearing us down. That choice is always yours.